Hey, how's it going everyone? This is Lam here, and today's Fuji Friday. There's really not that much news to report. We're kind of waiting for October to see the announcement of the X Pro 3. So while we're waiting on that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the timeline for releases of new camera bodies, because that's something that everybody's interested in. And it lets me do a little bit of planning in advance, because that's something that I have to do for my channel. This is an article on FujiRumors.com. So I'm just going to go ahead and very quickly go through it. The first thing that we're going to talk about is the XT3. Believe it or not, this is a camera that came out in 2018. It doesn't really feel like it because it still feels like a new camera to me, but really this is on a 2 to 3 year cycle. So somewhere in between there's usually a new camera body, which means in 2020 we can expect to at least see an announcement of the XT4, which is pretty exciting. But honestly, this camera is so good, I don't really see a need to upgrade to an XT4. They're really going to have to wow me with something a little bit different in order for me to really, think about wanting an XT4 over an XT3. I think at this point, this thing probably does everything that I really want it to do. So it'll be very interesting to see what they can put into the XT4 to kind of wow people to actually go buy an XT4 as opposed to an XT3. A lot of the times I'm looking for the value of the camera, and I think if this one actually were to go down in price because there's an XT4, it'll be pretty hard not to want to just to buy this camera at a reduced rate because it's such a good camera. Now, the next camera I do want to look at is its younger brother, the XT30. This one just came out 2 years, and we're looking at a 2 to 3 year cycle on this camera body as well. So we're looking at 2021. So we're not really going to expect to see a new camera body for a little bit of a while. But again, this is also an excellent camera body if you don't want to buy the XT3 because it's too expensive, or if you're looking for a lighter camera, the XT30 certainly delivers. It's a great camera for the price. And what I really like about the system is that when you buy it in a bundle, especially some of the starter lenses, that it's actually quite affordable, under $1,000 or just right at $1,000, which is really great for anybody who's stepping up from a smartphone camera. This is definitely one of my favorite cameras in the XT line, so I'm really looking forward to what the next camera can do, because this line right here is the smaller brother to the XT3. It has a little bit more room to grow, so if they're actually able to squeeze more performance into the XT40, like having the equivalent of an XT3 into the XT40, that would actually be pretty amazing. The next camera to talk about is the XH2, and this one's a little bit fuzzy because we really haven't heard a lot about it. The XH1 is a first generation camera, and because it's a first generation camera, we really don't know if it's on a 2 year cycle or a 3 year cycle or a 4 year cycle. There really hasn't been any rumors about this particular camera, and we know that it didn't sell very well, and mostly because the XT3 released very closely behind the XH1, which really took a lot of thunder out of the XH1 sales. I was one of the first people that bought the XH1. I still think it's an excellent camera, but when you compare it to the XT3, it really is very hard to beat an XT3. So if the XH2 is going to be coming out next year, it's going to be competing once again with the XT4. It's really going to be interesting to see if they're going to step on each other once again, or if they can actually create a feature gap to where the XH2 and the XT4 has enough differences where people would want to buy one variant or the other. Now, personally for me, I hope the XH2 really leads the way to better technology like an improved battery systems, because we all know the current batteries on all of these camera bodies, they don't really last very long. So I'm hoping the XH2 kind of leads the way to new battery technology so that we can actually get more runtime out of the Fujifilm systems. Hopefully they'll go more into the digital dials, which is what we're seeing in the GFX 100 and some of the patents that we've been reading at FujiRumors.com. That would be really neat. So I'm hoping the XH2 releases first, really seeing the leading edge technology, and then we'll have a subset of that technology go into the XT4, and then finally we will see another subset go into the XT40. At least in my head, that's what really makes sense, but let me know what you think about that. But the XH2 really up in the air, but hopefully in 2020 we start hearing some concrete rumors about that camera body, or Fujifilms could just decide to drop that camera body off its lineup. So the next camera that I want to talk about is the X Pro 3. That's the next camera body that we're assuming is going to be announced in October of 2019. So that would be very interesting to see what that new camera body is going to look like. like. A lot of people are speculating that this camera body might have in-body stabilization like the XH1. That would be an awesome feature for photographers to have in that photocentric camera body. So I'm really looking forward to actually seeing what's going to be in that camera system, and it's just going to be right around the holiday season. And this camera body is usually on a 3 to 4 year camera cycle, so it's a much longer cycle than some of the other XT cameras. So it'll be interesting to see if they're actually going to change the styling of that camera body, because a lot of people that love that camera body systems, they really don't want it to change. Now honestly, for me, I don't really track the X Pro line because I'm more of a videographer than a photographer nowadays, so I don't really have a need for a photocentric camera body. But it is exciting to see what type of technology is going to go into the X Pro 3, so I'm pretty excited to see what it is. I'm not really going to speculate much on that one because we're pretty close to the announcement, so here's hoping that I'll be talking about the specifications of that camera body pretty soon. Now those are the main camera bodies that I'll be tracking for this channel because they are the best of the interchangeable lenses for the Fuji X system, and hopefully sometime in the next couple of years I'll get a chance to actually get some of the GFX cameras, the medium format, large format cameras, and really cover those as well. But right now budget just doesn't allow me to do that. But these are the camera body lines that I am tracking and I'm looking forward to actually using and making content on. If you have any predictions or rumors about any of the camera lines, please leave it in the comments below. I would love to read them. But that's all I have this week. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a good weekend, and I'll see you in the next video.